So Reconnect with Rockers, I've got a new friend on with me. I've got Jäger Henry, or AKA Jäger Henry Bonham. It is so good to see your face. I have followed the journey for a while for you now. And I want to rewind a little bit and kind of talk about where you came from, because
Oh,
I want to talk about your influences. And
yeah,
knowing that you kind of came up, because with the Bonham name, a lot of people would think, oh, he's got to be a drummer, or he's
yeah,
got to be, a guy who's definitely influenced by the blues. You were a hip hop guy. You were a rap guy. You loved a lot of the early goth bands. You're a big Cure guy.
yeah,
All of these great influences are really who you are. So talk to me a little bit
yeah,
about the first time you heard something and you said to yourself, wow, I want to do that, or I love that.
yeah. I mean, to go back, it was kind of like, as a kid, I always knew my dad did music, but to me, he was just dad. And I was just kind of like, why does everyone want a picture with you? Like, you're just this like bald guy who's just wearing way too tightest skinny jeans. And he was just, I like didn't understand it. And it wasn't until I really moved to America when we were about 7 or 8. I was about 7 or 8 years old. We moved to America and I was going to school. My dad, who was always busy touring, but he took me to school a few times and he would play music. And it was when I was about 8 years old and I'd come to school blasting Chocolate Starfish
Wow. Wow.
and singing it word for word. Dad's proud of every word. And the school pickup line being like, "Oh, here come the bombs."
Oh, that's
But
great.
yeah, I think that was like really kind of what got me into it. It was like back then, like I wanted to like, because I heard the rap side of it, the hip hop influence that they had in their band. So I was like, oh, I could do that. And then when I turned about 13, just got like kind of into like a deep dive and started like listening to like The Cure, to Foo Fighters, Daltrey, Linkin Park.
Oh my God, I love, and that's such a blend because you've got, and it's
Yeah,
perfect. It's perfect because I hear the darkness of the Cure. I hear the light of the Cure too. I hear a little bit of the pop sensibility of some of the Daughtry stuff. I hear
yeah,
the power of the Foo Fighters. So I can hear those influences
yeah.
all around you.
Like the funniest thing is like the last song of the album, the EP, that always confuses me. But Mortal Sacrifice, I actually, when I went in to sing that chorus, I was like, I want to sound like Daughtry here.
Really?
Like how he's like, it's not
Yeah,
over.
yeah, and
Like I was
and
like,
I can
I
hear
want it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I was
spent
like,
a
I
bunch of
want
time
that
with it.
dad vibe. Like I want that like where it sounds like someone's gonna say, tell you a story.
I love it. I love it. We'll talk about the EP. This EP is like an EP that has been to the buffet table. I mean, it's a fat
Yeah.
EP because sometimes you get an EP and people are like, oh, we got three, we got four, oh, maybe we got five. That's like a lot. This is an 8 song EP that it's kind of, look, it's your first really foray. It's
Yeah.
everything that you wanted to mix together. So talk about, why you decided instead of just releasing stuff, because you were doing like a release here, release here, release here. And
Um,
I probably guess the road might have had something to do with that, because then all of a sudden
yeah.
everybody wants you out on tour.
Yeah, we were doing some tours, we were doing some festivals, we are getting booked for festivals as well. We're playing Louder Than Life and Aftershock coming up. And it just kind of seemed like we'd be out on the road and like people would be like, "Oh, what song was that?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's not out yet." And everyone
Yes,
was always
yes.
like, "You have to drop singles, you have to drop singles." And I was just at the point where I was like, I believe in my craft where I could make more music always later on. I need to give these people something now so that they're not just listening to imaginary music. I had a show where a fan sent me a video of another fan shazamming the song and it
Looking
wasn't out.
for them and they weren't there. Oh, that's
And
crazy. There you go.
so basically just kind of decided, and me and my friend Noah, who produced this project with me, we kind of just cooked up about 30, 40 songs. And then it was so hard to break it down because they kind of all still tell the same story. Like you could listen to it in like an audiobook style. Like it could be 30 songs of just the same idea with different meanings and all this. And it's kind of like an idea I've had, but I broke it down to these 8 songs with the intro including, and yeah, it told the story exactly how I wanted it to, and it's just been amazing since it's been out. Like the response has been great, the feeling has been great, and it's like I finally feel like something that explains who I am is out on platforms. Because I have some songs that I made in the beginning that they were fun to make, but they weren't me. And I
Mhm.
think it was just kind of like this album is me putting on my shoes and stepping out the door.
When did you know this was going to be what you were going to do? Because I mean, look, you come from a great musical legacy. So you've had music all around you, as you said,
Yeah,
driving around with dad Jason, and I'm sure hearing the Bonzo stories, that has to be crazy, hearing
yeah.
those stories and just seeing what that legacy was like. But when did you know what, this is also going to be, I'm also going to carry this torch. I'm carrying my own torch, but yeah, I think this is kind of a bigger part of who I am than I initially thought.
I think it's something that's like the funniest story to tell because I always wanted to do it. Like I wanted to be a bass player, I wanted to sing, I wanted to play guitar, I wanted to rap, and I was just always so scared to put it out. But I was always making music. Like I have songs on like my laptop from high school right here. The oldest laptop I own, and it's like me at 13 singing, you know, I guess you could say like 80s rock or
Yeah,
me
and that's not a
creating a
surprise at
song.
all. I mean, because it's in you. It's in
Yeah.
you, it's in your blood. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of,
Yeah.
your DNA. So that doesn't surprise me at all. But this is
Yeah.
now, I think this is now your career, because like you don't play the Louder Than Life festival if it's not a career for you. The guy with
Yeah.
the band down the street's not invited to come to Louder Than Life.
Yeah. It just kind of became something where I finally felt comfortable enough to put music out because I was at a point in my life just so scared of the critique and, you deal with it. Not being a drummer, I think I've heard more death threats than,
Are people
most people
shocked? I
would
was going to
like.
say that. Yeah, because
Oh,
people,
yeah.
as
We
soon as
have
they hear your
people,
name, and I love
we,
that you did the Jagger Henry, which I think is fantastic. I
yeah.
first became aware of you when you were playing somewhere, and there was a commercial because you were with special guest Jagger Henry, and I'm like, Jagger.
Yeah.
Then I
We
started,
played we played the Greek theater and some guy was so upset that I wasn't a drummer that he tried to fight me. He like dove
no.
over the merch table to try to punch me. It was the funniest thing.
Dude,
I
because
was
that's the
like,
legacy. They feel so strongly about it.
yeah,
I saw it with poor Wolfgang Van Halen. Like people are telling him about Eddie Van Halen. It's like, no, it's his dad. Like, but
yeah,
when you have a fan base that you have touched, I mean, to the core of their very soul,
yeah,
and of course, social media and all that crapola makes it very easy to, to be out there trolling people, telling them what you know
yeah.
is
I
better
mean,
than what they know.
it's just like I guess it was just time. I finally felt like a barrier. I bulked down this barrier that was like the fear of reaction and just kind of was like, I want to be happy.
And it's
So let me
brave to
just
be
do
who
my
you
stuff.
are. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
so brave to be who you are. And you're great. Look, you're a great front man.
thank you.
You got a whole rock star thing. Look, we still need rock stars. Music need rock stars. We want to see rock stars, people who are charismatic on stage, who bring a phenomenal visual with them. And I think you absolutely do that as well. And you know what
Thank
I
you so
think is so
much.
interesting too? When I hear you sing, maybe it's because you were influenced by hip hop and rap coming up. There's definitely like a rhythmic quality to your vocal
Yeah.
performance. You hear it in people that were drummers, whether it's a Steven Tyler or Sully Erna. And I think the beauty in you is, not necessarily drumming, but I think it's still in you in some way, shape, or
Yeah,
form. And
the
it
rhythm,
comes
yeah.
out there, the vocal is the focal. Your focal point is the vocals that you give us.
Yeah. I agree. I can feel that. I think it's from moving to America. Like I just learned so many different genres while living here.
Yeah.
Like in England, I listened to like Ozzy Osbourne and stuff like that, but when I moved here, like the friends I became were like, "Yo, we rap." And
Did you
like
just come right to Florida? Is that because I know
yeah,
that
we
dad's been
we
in
moved to
Florida? So,
Florida. Yeah, we moved to Florida and then I moved out to LA.
wow, from the UK
But
to Florida. what was it like for you as a kid, like with the weather? You must have been like, holy moly, this is a whole
The weather was great,
culture shock.
but
Yeah.
being called Harry Potter every day was the best.
That's hysterical.
It was way before like British accents were cool. Like I moved here and it was like Harry Styles didn't do his thing yet. So it's like people were like, "Oh, Harry Potter."
Harry Potter.
And I'd be like, "I don't even sound like Harry. He's from like a whole different part." Like
Oh, that's
and
so
they'd be like,
funny.
"What? He's from England." And I'd be like, "Yeah, but like there's like
It's not
Worcester,
one thing.
Birmingham,
Yeah.
like and it's just funny like people don't see it and they're just like, "Oh, you're English? Harry Potter."
Oh,
But
that's
no,
great.
it was cool. I moved here, met some great friends. One of my best friends, Chris, who's unfortunately no longer with us. Me and him actually had a rap crew where we would dance and rap. And I feel like it did play a part into like how I created music. Like it taught me this rhythm. It taught me this timing. And it's like people are like, "Oh, you got that because of drumming." And I'm like, I did, but I think that hip hop has a different kind of touch to it. So it's like, you know, like it taught me the skipper beats, as I call them.
Yep. Yeah, it made you as well-rounded as you could ever possibly be. We actually have you coming to Jersey. So I'm really
Yeah,
excited about this. Wellmont Theater, which is a really cool place, very close to where I live, very close to the radio station, December 8th, with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening. So what is it like when you're out touring with dad? And I think that's such a gift, by the way. That is a
it's
gift to be able to do that.
it's fun, but it's I don't know how much longer we'll do it. This might
Yeah.
be the
Well, you
last
don't have to
one.
do it forever, but I think just to like have these memories where one
Yeah,
day you're kind of looking back at that, when you're
he
his
always told
age.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he would
mean,
always say, "I wish I got to do this with my dad," and
yeah.
I just kind of like I respect that and I understand it, and it's so much fun to do with my dad. But
And I think
now
for
that
some
we've
people who may not know, they just may not know.
Yeah, some people don't. We've
Yeah,
had fans that have no idea. They're like, "Yo, you guys are sick." We've had people who think the drummer of our band is the son, and we go with it.
absolutely. Why wouldn't you? I would
I'll
do
be
the
like,
same
"Yeah,
thing.
that's his kid. That's his kid." Can't you tell? They're like the same height. And it's funny. It's just like I just enjoy it. It's like I call it dress rehearsals. Like I go out there and put on the best show I can, and it's like a dress rehearsal. My dad's advice to me was if you can go out and play screaming hard rock with some weird twists that you have that to a crowd that came to see Led Zeppelin music. He's like, and get a applause, let alone a standing ovation. He's like, you're doing something.
Job
And
well
I was
done.
like, and I just kind of thought about it. I was like, it's so true. Like people are like not here for this. And it's funny because it's like we go out there and I do joke. I turn it into a comedy special sometimes. I'll be like, look, like if you came here to see Zeppelin music, give us about 30 minutes and then start smoking. We don't want you to waste any of your
Right.
shrooms, like I always make like little comedy skits towards it because it's like you want to like try to win over the crowd, but it's like you're not always going to. Like we have one state where you go every time. In the past 3 years we've been there, someone's, not been the happiest in the place. But
Now Jersey's Rocktown. You're gonna love to come hang out
yeah.
here because
Is it a seated theater?
we're gonna love to see you. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's got like a GA spot. I
It
told them
does.
they
Yeah.
gotta
Oh,
start.
yeah. It's all GA, and then there's a cool balcony. And it's just a really amazing vibe in the Wellmont. It's cool, and it's in an area of town where there's great, like, cool restaurants to eat and hip art
Yeah,
galleries to go to. Very diverse, very culturally diverse with all different kind of people. So, yeah, it's definitely a great place. I can't wait to come see
I
you.
like.
I'm psyched to see Dad. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna make
Yeah,
sure that I am there super early because I really, really want to see the band. So I'm
we'll see
stoked to
if
see you guys.
Jersey can mosh.
We can,
We've had
we can.
some. We've had some. We've
Have we
got
been?
very lucky. We've had people like try. We've had people unfortunately get hurt, which we don't want. We just we want to see what the generations of generations can do, and it's fun because it's like it's a battle. It's like you're here to watch Whole Lotta Love, and we're about to scream at the top of our
Yeah,
lungs
we're about to give
if
you
flesh
like
and bones
Heart
is
of
all we
Thorns.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many great tracks. I mean, the first song I think I heard from you guys, I think was Hate Me. And I love watching you too
Yeah.
perform
I
these
hate that
songs
song.
because but it's such performance. There's so much performance about the songs. And that's what
Yeah.
I really like. But that was the first. And
Yeah.
that was my intro to you. And then all of a sudden I just started seeing, kind of your organic journey and how you developed as an artist. And I was like, you know what, this guy, he's got something. He's got something
It's
going on.
funny because we just dropped this whole EP and I love it. Like it's like pride and joy, blood, sweat, and tears. But the one song I put out randomly one day, like I didn't really like kind of build it up. I just dropped it. And it's still one of my favorite songs is Bleed.
Oh, I love Bleed.
And I
That was
think
the
it's
second
so
song. Yeah.
underrated. Yeah, I think it's so underrated because people are like, oh, like it's cool, but like it's not. I'm like, but that's the point, is it's like it's supposed to be a heavy version of The Cure.
I can hear that. I can totally
Like
hear
the
that. That's
drums,
the
boom,
second
ba,
song.
boom,
Yeah.
ba,
And that
boom, ba, boom, ba. Like feel like the needle went too deep. And it's supposed to be like very Curie, but like with a 2024's, yeah, we're in 2024 now. Wow. With like that sort of twist on it.
and you're like a Robert Smith fan, big Robert
I
Smith
love The
fan.
Cure. I had
So
tickets when he was here at the Hollywood Bowl and I went alone because no one wanted to come.
are you kidding me?
Yeah, I went solo, stood by myself, watched every minute, didn't leave.
Great experience to do that. Great experience to do that. And congratulations on a dynamite EP.
Thank you so much.
Heart of Thorns, just really fantastic. So many flavors, textures. It's a great journey record. There's a lot of cool sequencing where one song goes to the next song, goes to the next song. It's a super easy listen. And I love that you did an EP with 8 songs, man. Very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah. And we'll see you in Jersey on December 8th
Yeah,
at the Wellmont Theater. Tickets, by the way, wellmonttheater.com. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening. And of course, Jager Henry and the band opening the show. And it was so awesome to get to know you. Everybody
you too.
said to me, like, you're going to love to chat with him. And here's the comment that came up the most, which I love. He's got such a great head on his shoulders. I love that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I love that. And you totally do, man. You're a rock star.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited. You know, let's just see who's the best city to mosh. That's literally my goal. My
I'm
goal
gonna
is
go
to
for
have one
Jersey.
show. Yeah.
Here's
My
what we
goal is
do in Jersey, and here's what I really like. My station did a show not that long ago with Beartooth. So of course I'm down front. I'm like 5 feet, like 90 pounds, and I'm down front. I'm not expecting this whole thing to go on. So all of a sudden, like feet are flying and sneakers are going off, but it's so nice because people are catching people and then we're moving them. And
yeah.
then when people are running off with their
Just
hands up. So like we're good moshers, but we're pretty polite to the rest of
yeah,
the
that's the way you
crowd.
have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing is sometimes even when there's like a GA section, they put chairs down. I don't know why.
Yeah. They're not going to do that for you at the Wellmont. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. The
Yeah.
craziest is you can see this actually on YouTube. We were playing Canada and I had a mosh going and we're about to like start a slow song right after. And I just see a bunch of people pointing down and this guy had like passed out.
Did you have to
Yeah.
get in and
Like
stop everything?
I had to stop the show and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
help him get to the exit and
Yep.
stuff like that. And you can see the video on YouTube and it's crazy because I went and spoke to him. I like after the show went and found him and was like, "Are you okay?" Because he was good, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I was drinking and I just got my wisdom teeth out." And I was like,
Oh my
"Oh my!"
God.
I was like, so it wasn't the Mosh's fault at all. It was your fault.
It's a combination of a little all of that. Oh, that's crazy. So
Yeah,
great to catch up with you. Thank you so
you too.
much.
Nice to meet.
Safe travels, and we'll
Thank you.
see you in
Yeah,
Jersey on December 8th.